Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we are doing Thursday Night Live, and I'm talking about all things Jupiter in the sign of Aries. And this is one of those, I don't know, I guess it's alignments that I've really fallen in love with. The more I've learned about it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, this is such amazing energy. And I think that's kind of the fun part about it. A lot of people are really asking a lot of questions because they're like, how do you connect to it? How do you not connect to it? How do you do this? So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. Hopefully, you've got some great questions. I'm going to start my promo on what is it? Facebook, Instagram, no, Facebook and YouTube. So hold on a second. Let me start this up. Here we go. Okay, so we got that out of the way. So we're going to be talking about like bringing in Jupiter's energy. So definitely post your questions. Tell me where you're checking in from. Last time I think I had a couple of people that were far away. So I was like, yay, we have some new people. So if you have any questions, make sure you post them. I will answer them as best I possibly can. So let's talk about literally just Jupiter's energy. Jupiter is all about like expanding experiences. Hi, bitch. Martrice. Martrice. Ooh, that's a beautiful name, Martrice. It's a lovely name. Jupiter's all about expanding like our experiences, our knowledge, our understanding, representing kind of like growth, generosity, abundance, and kind of just really good luck. So Matrice, you're not that far away from me. Matrice, we're like practically neighbors. I'm in Sugarland, so we're practically like neighbors. New Orleans, Shanti. Woo. And so Jupiter is always like urging us to like define our goals, kind of seeking out tangible results, kind of like, you know, if you were just running a mile, can I run a mile faster than I ran yesterday? Those are tangible results, step-by-step approaches. Jupiter just loves that. And it really loves to like realize like our objectives. Like, what is it that we really want to bring into us? Like, what is it that we really want to bring? Oh, Kathy King from West Virginia. I can't wait to be back. I know it's crazy. I enjoyed meeting you, Miss Kathy. I love my people far away. I had some people, I think last week or the week before from Minnesota. So I was like, ooh, Minnesota. They're probably still freezing to death. They're not all the way in spring like we are. But so Jupiter has like this expansion awareness, like personal, like courage. Like, what are you willing to walk into? And you think about like Jupiter as a planet, it's one of those, Jupiter's like huge and expansive. And so that's what Jupiter tries to bring into us. So that's kind of like, yes, bring that into us. Now, Jupiter is in the sign of Aries. And Aries is a fire sign. And don't think of fire signs necessarily as a bad. It's kind of like, what do you kind of want to light on fire? What are those goals that you're just like, yes, I want to get done? That kind of fire. Like, where's that energy coming in from? So that's kind of one of those, like, yes, here we go. And fire signs are all about like optimism and belief systems and like your perception. Not everybody else's perception of what success is to them. It's what is success to you? What is abundance to you? Because if I were to ask each of you, like, you would be happy with this amount of money in your bank, everybody would have a different number. Some of them might be like $1 million. One might be $100,000. One might be $5 million. Everybody has like a different area where they're like, if I had that amount of money, I'd be okay. And that's where I think people get a little crazy when they kind of start thinking about like abundance and bringing that in, because they're like, well, if I would be okay with $100,000, it's like I'd be really okay with $1 million. And then I would be like really okay if I had $2 million. And so they keep changing that number. And that's probably why you're not getting it, is because you're going to these numbers beyond what you can believe. It's one of those, it has to be a number believable to you that you could gain, get, or like win in the lottery or whatever it is. And so that where it has to be like a tangible number. It can't be just any number anywhere at any time. It has to be a tangible, good number for you. And talk about like Jupiter in the fire sign teaches us like to embrace more confidence, like being brave, going out there, kind of like, how do we want to expand? How do we want to grow? How do we want to do this? Hello, Miss Lori. So does that make sense? Like, it's really asking us, like, what do you desire in your life? And can it be like embraced? Can you deal with it with confidence? Can you say, like, I have $5 million in my account, and go, yes, I can believe that number? Because if you can't, don't say it. It's like a waste of your breath if you can't believe that number. You have to be able to believe it. It's not that you can't be able to see it, or, like someone else has $5 million. That's great. But if it's a number that you can't believe that you could have, then you need to start with a number believable to you. It's the way it goes. And so this is really kind of bringing us to kind of like, what would we want to inspire others? Like, what do we want to really tell ourselves? Like, I can have this amount of money. I can do this. Really allowing kind of like our heart, our head to really lead us in this area, not off into crazy land, into like really numbers that I can get behind, numbers that I can really like, yes, I can believe this number. Because once you get that one number, if you were to say like, okay, I could believe a number, like not even 100,000, maybe I could believe 5,000. Okay, I'm going to believe in 5,000. And once that number comes to me and I can go to done, I got this, then go, if I can believe 5,000, well, then I can believe 10,000. Does that make sense? As long as it's a number that you can grasp your head around. And that's kind of one of those funny things. We were talking last night after one of my meditation classes that we were doing that. And they were talking about all of this, like, I would love to have this amount of money. And I'm like, but if you can't believe it, you can't have it. And as soon as she said the number, like you could see her body kind of like jerking. I was like, that's your body saying no, because it can't even fathom that number. So you have to start with a number that your body, your mind, and your soul all agree on. Really, I will tell you that kind of one of the things that Jupiter in the sign of Aries is asking you to do is kind of step out from like being one of the crowd. If you're just trying to be one of the crowd, this is not the sign for you. If you're kind of like, I'm just the go along, get along kind of person, I don't want to cause any waves or cause any problems or anything like that, this is not the sign for you. If you're trying to just like, let me float along and make sure nobody really bothers me, this is not the sign for you. This is the sign kind of asking you, like, take a lead, push yourself a little bit. What would you like to bring into you? Kind of a little bit expanding yourself. It doesn't have to be like completely way out there by yourself, but it has to be far enough out that you're not just with the same group all the time. It's not just the same core, like this is all we can ever get. This is it. This is the way we're going. I will tell you, it also brings in a lot of people that wanting to start up their business. I have worked with probably 20 clients on and off for the past, since this has been in play. It's one of those that I will tell you that they are opening up businesses. Now, I will tell you, this sign is active until May 16th of 2023. So you got some time to think about all these things. You've got some time to really consider these numbers, really think about like, what is that number for you? What is that number that you can really get behind? And it's really asking you, like, what would you like to start? Doesn't mean you need to go start a whole brand new business all on your own. It could be, maybe you're doing a franchise, maybe you're doing something else, maybe you're doing something with somebody else. That's okay. It's okay as long as you can believe it. If you can't believe it, it's not something you could even start on. Your body's not going to get there at all. Having faith that you're going to work through this and literally face any challenges, because no matter what you do, I guarantee you are going to fail at some point. That's just part of it. You're going to fail. Doesn't mean that's bad, because whenever we fail, we kind of like learn what didn't work. And I'm the first one to go, I fail all the time. Like, I do things and I thought I did it right. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, I've totally messed this up. But I learned by doing it wrong how to do it better, or how to do it a different way. And as long as you have that mentality of like, I may not have done this 100% the right way, yet I'm bringing this in, yet I'm doing this even faster, yet I'm going to still succeed, it's going to bring that into you. Because a lot of times people like have failures and they're like, I can't do this. I can't win. I can't. And it's like, no, you're never going to never have any failures. If you consider your life at, what I'm saying, as like, how many times have I succeeded? I guarantee you, before you succeeded, you failed a lot. Now, I will tell you one of my favorite quotes and that's by Mary Kay Ash, who started Mary Kay Cosmetics, is we fall forward, we fail forward into success. And that's kind of like the best way to put it is like when you fail, you learn how to succeed. You learn what didn't work and you get to kind of do it differently and compete in a different way, or kind of pushing yourself in like better ways to kind of like, this didn't work, so now let me try this. This is really kind of pushing us to be independent and kind of like not go with the normal things that people want to do at this time frame. Kind of that's the fun part of it. If y'all have any questions, make sure you post them. These efforts are all about like pushing yourself in directions, like I said, a little bit past the norm. So it doesn't have to be out there all in left field, but this is kind of like pushing yourself a little bit. What would you like to change about you, or innovate with you, or kind of like breaking new ground? Like maybe you're that person that like, I'm willing to go out there and do something completely wild and different. Do that. That's the fun part. Be the leader. Don't be afraid to be the leader at any point in your life. I will tell you that there are a few things where people can kind of get a little crazy with Jupiter in the sign of Aries. And that kind of usually comes in with kind of a very ego kind of energy with it. Jupiter has a lot of ego in it, and a lot of people kind of connect too much to the ego. So it's kind of like Jupiter kind of pushes us to kind of like go for the gusto and do everything, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, if your ego is leading you, like you're doing this business just because it's like gonna make you money, or get you a status, don't do it. It's not worth it. If you're doing it because you love what you do, or you love what you're getting into, and you love how that might help or assist somebody else, then definitely do it. Don't do something just because, oh, I'm going to make money at it. That's not the right way, or the way that you really want to succeed with things. I will tell you, Jupiter always kind of literally pushes its luck towards enthusiasm. So if you have a lot of enthusiasm for something, it is going to really be on your side. Now, Aries is always on your side if you've got like, I'm going to get through everything no matter what. I'm going to be pushing this good side. So that's kind of one of those like, yes, I'm going to make it. No matter what's going on, I am going to make it. That is kind of one of those fun sides. I will tell you, a lot of times in Aries, we can have like this negative manifestation, and it can kind of bring in, like, just like Jupiter, kind of like that narrow-mindedness of like, it's all about the money. It's all about moving our points of view. Like, I'm doing this so I can get my point of view out there. That's not the reason to do it, because that's very an ego type of thing to put out there. But I guarantee you things will move forward. Now, I will tell you, one of the things that I love about this is we have some amazing energy coming in, some amazing ways to push our energy. So I think that's the fun part of this, is kind of like these two planets like working in coordination with us. Like, what is it that you want in your life? What do you want to bring forward? What is that for you? And sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be a business or something like that. Sometimes I had a client that I was talking to the other day, and she was like, I'm going to bring in something, and I want to just do this because I can. Like, I want to bless other people. And I was like, that's exactly what these signs are going to bless you with. If you're doing it for the right reasons, I'm doing this to bless other people, not for anything that you get. It's one of those, it's going to bless lots and lots of people. And it's working with us to kind of like help us stay in the game, kind of like the big picture, and kind of like moving into, what do you want in your life? How do you want this to show up in your life? And where do you want this abundance to go into? I will tell you, one of the things that I have been led to, and hopefully y'all can see this really, really well. This is the stone, one of my favorites. This is a pyrite stone, sphere, I guess, kind of thing. It is called fool's gold. And so this is one of my favorite ones. When you are trying to bring in abundance, that is one of the stones that I wear a lot, or have around me a lot. I love that part of it. I love that energy of the pyrite. Actually, I have a small one that I've had, and it's probably a little bit bigger than a marble, but I've been carrying that in my pocket for a couple of weeks. And that's kind of the fun part, connecting with that at different times. Like, what is that energy pushing to me? What do I want to bring out with this? This is going to be a great time. Now, I will tell you that this is really going to bring up a lot of opportunities, and you're going to see this with tons of different people, kind of like that expansion, that growth. Where are we going with this? What is it going to bring us? This strong period, like I said, until like May 16th, comes in with like a lot of opportunities. What is your opportunity to step forward? What is that opportunity that keeps coming and you're going like, nah, I'm not really interested. Maybe you should listen to it. Maybe you should really think about it. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Just maybe thinking about it could be that way of really connecting to this energy and connecting to what's coming in around you. And also kind of believing in yourself. Both of these signs really talk about like believing in yourself, believing what you can move forward, believing what you can have in life will do a lot. Like I said, it's almost like the money. You have to believe that you can have it. And I think the other part is kind of, we've had Jupiter in a couple of other signs lately, and this has really been kind of pushing some kind of like negative energy at us. Jupiter's never really 100% negative, but it works better in certain signs. And with it in the sign of Aries, it is really pushing a huge positive number, a huge positive interest in like stepping out of the pack, bringing things forward. And I think that's one of the fun things. Now, one of the other ones, and I have this because I did this, use this. I'm trying to show it without, I cut my finger the other day, so I'm trying to do it without like doing it. This is Metatron's cube. So if you can't do it, doing it at different angles, so hopefully you can see a little bit. Metatron's cube. Now you can put this on a string and wear it around your necklace, around your neck as a necklace, and having that for you. Metatron's cube is all about expanding your ideas, expanding what you're desiring in your life, and really thinking about that. Because like, where would you want to grow into? What would you like to grow into at any point in time? I think we are going to do a couple of angel cards about Jupiter in the sign of Aries, and really hopefully getting y'all a little bit deeper insight into all things Jupiter in the sign of Aries. My first card is self-confidence. That's kind of one of the things we've been talking about, is like that self-confidence. Both of these signs really bring in a lot of self-acceptance, self-confidence, moving that energy into some positive areas of your life, and allowing that to kind of, what would you really want to bring into your life? What is that part that you really want to bring? Answered prayers. This is one that I get so many yeses on. Answered prayers. So many times people have been asking, like, I really want to open my own business and I really want to do this, or I'm not really sure I could do this. It's one of those, you listening to this right now is, even if you're listening to it in a couple of days from now, it's like, this is really your sign. Like, step out, make that motion, step out from the comfort zone and seeing what you draw into. This is intention, setting your intention. What do you really want to set your intention about? How do you want to bring in that intention of what's coming up next for you? How are things going to move in your energy? And when you set the right intention, and it's not necessarily you can set a wrong intention, it's like, why am I doing this? What is my why? And really thinking about that before you do something will bring in some amazing energy. This is all about our guardian angels. A lot of times I think people believe this incorrectly, that they will believe, hello, Miss Stacy. People will believe like your life purpose comes from your angels and your guides, and they're going to tell you what to do and that sort of thing. It's kind of the opposite direction. We pick our life purpose. We get to pick that part. We decided that before we ever came in to this planet. So I have a couple of videos about that coming out soon, about our soul contract. So kind of like explaining that all really, really clear. Martrice is saying that she has two of the I guess the pyrite. I love this pyrite. It's one of those, and I think, wow, how beautiful. It also puts your money into motion, which money loves to be in motion. I think that's one of those fun things. That's kind of one of the fun parts about this. Hi, Miss Kristen. Kind of a divine guidance comes in of a lot of times, like I said, we think that our purpose comes in from our guardian angels, and it doesn't. It comes from us, but they are going to divinely guide us to make sure that we are bringing in the right energy, that we're kind of moving down that path. And so really listening to your intuition about where do you want to go with this, or how do you want to interact with this? How do you want this to look for you? That's really the cool part. The next one is divine timing. This is kind of one of those, I love this card because it really is. You're listening to this right now because you've got to hear about this little kick in the behind of like, let's get busy and let's get doing something, whatever that is. Maybe it's in the current job that you're at. Maybe it's somewhere else. That's kind of the fun part, that you get to really try some amazing energies at this part. This one's coming up next. And this is serenity. When you're following your path, I guarantee you it has a peacefulness to you. And have that amazing energy of like what's coming in next, or how are things going to change or modify around you. Now, I will tell you that Jupiter in the sign of Aries is all about that personal courage, that personal kind of like kick in the behind of like, where do you want to start? Where do you want to go? Encouraging you, almost like those crazy teenagers, like cheerleaders, like pushing you along, like, yes, this is, you can do this, you can do this part. So know that your angels and guides are cheering you on the other side, and they're divinely asking you, like, keep moving this forward, keep going. You're going to make it. You're going to make it. It's not a problem. Yes, you will have failures. Yes, things are not ever going to go 100% without any problems or issues or anything else. That's just part of the thing. That's just part of it. Sorry. My throat has been really dry. This is telling you you've got the courage to kind of step out and do something a little bit differently. And it's okay to have people with you while you go through these. Just make sure that they are not holding you back in any way. I think that's one of those like, interesting. We can all have like a value, and we all have courage to step out and step beyond what we really want. Hello, Miss Gladys. And kind of like having other people around us. But sometimes when it's time for our time to shine, we need to step away from the crowd and really let our light shine on everybody else. And kind of like, now I'm taking the lead position. And I think that's kind of one of those, yes, we're going to do this. Now, a lot of times we tend to jump at opportunities, and we don't do it as quickly as we really should. So really take the time and think about it. Like, what do you want to bring into you? That can be really fun. Like, what is it that I really like to do? And I think that's kind of one of the, like, the secrets to life is, what do you love doing? That's probably going to have some part of it is going to be what you do have as a life purpose. If it's something you love, whatever that is, however that is, when you would love something that much, it's going to be a part of your, yes, this is part of my life purpose, kind of moving this energy forward. This is going to be a great one. And okay. Do y'all have any questions about Jupiter in the sign of Pisces? Jupiter in the sign of Aries. Any questions? Anything I can answer for you? Anything else? I'm going to do some cards, but if y'all have got some questions, post them. I'll be answering your questions about Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. This card is all about trust. Trust your gut that you're doing the right thing, or trust your gut that you're moving into the right energy. That's like two different answers for different people watching or will be watching. This is kind of one of those fun ones. Trust your gut. Like when you have that person tell you, yes, you can do this. It's like, are you trusting your gut feeling? Are you trusting your intuition? And once you do, it changes everything else. The next one, Archangel Michael. I often use Archangel Michael if someone's trying to sell me something or tell me about something, and I'll ask him, like, okay, if this is something I should be going into or thinking about, like, let them continue talking. If not, disrupt this in some way. It doesn't have to be a big disruption. It can be me coughing, them coughing, whatever it is. Like, oh, okay, or them excessively doing something that's annoying me. It's like, I've had that one. And so that's going to be giving me that comment of like, yes, I can move past this. I can get out of this energy and not hold on to this one. This card is literally jumping out of my hand. It wants to be next. Here we go. New love. When you love what you're doing, and that's what Jupiter's all about, is like that love and that luck. So is Aries, kind of like, what do you love? Slow down, Ruthie. Slow down. You want me to slow down, Miss Debbie? This is actually me talking slow. That's the fun part. I try to talk really slow. So we are talking about the planet Jupiter in the sign of Aries. And that's the fun part, because this energy is pushing us to kind of get out from our comfort zone a little bit and do something different, kind of whatever that is for you. Um, Even Miss Debbie, I've known Miss Debbie a long time. We're not talking about ages. We've just known each other a long time. But Miss Debbie in the last few months has started selling. She has lots of chickens and she has been selling her eggs from the chickens. And that is her own entrepreneurship. Now, however she does that, however she set that up, that is her own entrepreneurship of like getting that fire sign, like, I've got all these chickens. I can make some money with this. I can have some fun with this. She loves her chickens. She takes care of them and she gets to almost your mom. She is almost my mama. But it's one of those, like, that's the fun part. And she's enjoying selling the eggs and being around her chickens. So it's nothing, something like, oh my gosh, this is an industry that she's going to create. This is kind of the fun part. She gets to create with her chickens food that's going to nourish other people and nourish other people in some amazing ways, especially since the price of eggs are so high. It's crazy. The next one, forgiveness. A lot of times this comes in because we have failed in the past and we have got to forgive ourselves. I will tell you, everybody has failed. Everybody is going to have some type of problems. That's right. She loves her chickens and love having her eggs as well too. It's like, that's the fun part, but she gets to share that love of her chickens with making a little money on the side, a little cha-ching on the side. And that's all it takes, is having that fun side of you, kind of like, I really do like this. Let's see. Next card. Let's see if I can do this one. Okay. Surrender and release. Surrender to things that haven't worked in the past and release them because they're kind of holding you back. And that's the fun part of this, is allowing this fun energy to move forward. It's one of those, I heard many years ago, someone said, well, when you do something you love, you never work another day in your life. Well, I don't really believe that because I work really hard, but I absolutely love what I do. But there are some days where I'm just like, whew, that was a long, hard day. And I love it, but I enjoyed the day. I enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed talking to my clients or doing group readings or whatever that happens for me. That's the fun part. Signs. There are signs all around you of what you should be doing, how you should be kind of stepping out on your own and kind of creating some new energies for you. This can be a great one, not only for you, but other people as well. That's kind of one of those fun things. My next card, children. It should be something fun and something you love doing. If it's not something that you love, it's one of those, let it go. And I think a lot of times people think that your job has to be boring or it has to be icky or whatever else. I always think of it as like a child. I get to literally I get to play with energy like all day. And that's something that I learned as a child. And that's, to me, one of those, like, I love that part. Debbie says, like, making people happy. I love making people happy. I love gifting messages from the other side. I love doing group readings. I love doing Thursday Night Live with you guys. I love teaching. I never thought in a million years that I would ever love teaching. Ever in a million years. I was just like teaching and I would think like, kids in the classroom and all that noise. And then I was like, not for me. I love teaching. I love teaching my psychic classes. I love doing all that kind of crazy stuff. That's the part that I really love. And I didn't think I would at the beginning. Retreat. Take time for yourself. Take time for yourself. So many times people do not take time for themselves and spend some time. But to me, I think that's kind of the refreshing part for most people, is really getting behind, like, taking the time for you, taking the time to enjoy what you're doing, and taking the time to really read books. It's one of those, this year has been really fast for me. And so it's one of those, I have not read one new book. I know, I was like, I almost hate to admit that. I am going to be reading some books coming in March. I am like taking some time off. I'm getting like a little bit of a retreat, and I guarantee you I'm going to be reading some new books because I'm excited about them. Blessings. Blessings come in when you want to bless others. Blessings come back to you. Anything you send out in the world comes back to you. That's one of the one things that I love teaching my students. Now, these two cards are coming together. This one is meditation, and this one is enchantment. And enchantment is all about kind of like doing things that really just light that energy inside of you, kind of that fun part of you. What is that fun part of you that you really want to do? And meditation can help you get there. Meditation is something that can bring this kind of like slow down, calm down, relaxing energy. Where do you want to go in your life? What do you want to have happen in your life? Where do you want to go with any of this? That is going to be the energy that is affecting you the most. But a lot of times we have to learn how to slow down our mind before we can kind of get into that enchantment kind of stage. Okay, I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to run my brand one more time. If y'all have any questions or anything else, make sure you post them below and I will be answering them. Y'all have a great night.